Welcome to the Artist Tiny House Village, and this is Vegetable Soup Wednesday, where my special guest tonight is a phenomenal woman, Naimah Latif, who is the executive director of the Female Solution and On Air Radio Network. We're going to hear all about her new program to help us grow food. She has been growing food for some time now. But if you're new to Viada's Tiny House Village or our Wednesday vegetable soup, welcome to the tiny village. And I got some new music to play for our introduction. It's actually from the artist we had on this past week. So let's take a peek at my journey through tiny houses. So let me know in the comments how you like the music. I'm looking for some new music because YouTube sent me an email. I don't know if it's YouTube or someone else, that the music I was using for the last 3 or 4 years is now has a copyright issue. So I'm looking for new music. That music I just played, let me know how you like it. And we are going to have 2 guests today to share about food. We're talking food today. The question is how okay, we're winding down, up and down. It's so apologizing ahead of time if things don't go according to plan, because all day I've had So been having trouble all day long with Wi-Fi. So pardon me, apologies if things are not smooth. Just be patient, be patient. This is Vegetable Soup Wednesday because this book was a project for 9 of us to contribute stories to nourish the mind, the body. Ooh, and I got lots of birds out there right now. The mind, the body, and the finances. This book was written in my mind as a response to the movie Straw that Tyler Perry produced. That was so depressing and so pessimistic about the journey of one particular woman. And so this book is available to you. It's a miracle production that 9 people came together, contributed stories, and then AI helped us put the whole thing together with the title and organizing the outline, the chapters, and everything. And voila, our gift to you for any amount, Cash App that you want to donate. If you donate to my fund, my food fund, I call it, because I am on a strict budget because I don't have a 9-to-5 job. I create content for you. And so I'm on a very strict budget. So any extra money I get, I usually end up spending it on a little extra food like a salad or something I normally don't eat every day. So whatever you contribute, it's going to feed me, my body mostly, and help me pay off debts and the things that I don't have a lot of money to do right now. But I'm just so content with being able to share every Wednesday with you, and then to invite guests on when we can, when they're available, because not everybody's available on the West Coast. But this book can really change your life. We had Dr. D read this book, and she was so impressed with the advice she got in the book about gardening even, and she had just bought a house in Florida with I think she's got like 8 acres of land or something. And what she found in this book was so helpful, she started using it right away. So if you buy the book, you're going to receive timely advice right away on how to manage your body, your mind, and your finances. So just any donation, Cash App, Dollar, Vieta Ram, send me your email and I'll send you the ebook right away with no time limits at all. So there we go. And I'll bring that up later. But tonight, we have a fabulous, phenomenal woman joining us. And her website, I want to just bring up her website for you. It is so awesome. uh it was created, I think it was developed recently to just be fabulous. Look at this website, On Air Everywhere Network, of which I am a part. And oh, hi Naima,
Hey, Viana.
you're here.
Yes,
So
I am.
welcome, my sister. Thank you so much. I know it was last minute. We do things like that around here, last minute. Spirit says go, and I say when? Well, how? Now, now.
That's right.
Oh,
Just
Naima,
follow the
where are you,
spirit.
Naima? Yes. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'm gonna bring up your website too. Let's see, where did it go?
There you
Oh,
go.
there it is. For you to just give an introduction, and then I'll let you speak. What this is fabulous. I love the colors and the arrangement. It looks so futuristic, even,
Oh, yes.
and professional. I must say, looks very professional.
Well,
Tell
thank
us
you
a
very
bit.
much.
Well, why don't you tell my audience a little bit about you first? Because some people may not be familiar with you, even though I was part of your family for a while. But
Well,
tell my audience a little.
you still got the family.
Yes,
Always
and
be my
I'm on air with her
Yes.
family. So tell us a little. Tell our audience a little bit about you, whatever you want to share, and then tell us about this new on air production.
Well, I am a communicator. I am an author of several books, one which has been widely circulated, Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma. It's used in um, schools, colleges, and many people use it as a teaching tool because it chronicles the emotional and psychological effects of the enslavement experience and how we're still affected by that and what we must do to overcome the effects of the trauma because we've been out of slavery for several generations now and yet we're still having the effects of it and we need to change some things. We need to first of all change the thought that makes us believe we are helpless, and that's a part of what drives me in the work that I'm doing now as a producer. I'm a videographer, a television producer, and for years produced a show on a local cable station, The Media Connection, in which we interviewed many people who were making things happen around the city, around the world. And I'm also a journalist, and as such, my husband and I we published a newspaper, the International Business Network. You know, started out as the International Sun, but one of the things we did in publishing that we, pardon me, we were watching a show on Channel 11 one time, the local PBS station, and saw this young man, an African, who said he was a griot, which is a oral historian, and he said he was the nephew of the griot that narrated the story for Alex Haley that enabled him to find his roots. And so we rushed to meet him. We found him, we met with him, and he provided a foundation for what became the book. We did a 6-part series in our newspaper about the transatlantic slave trade and a lot of other things that led to our current condition. We published a series, and then we decided to develop it into the book, and that's what became the book, Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma. And I'm sure I've got it behind me there. I'll hold it one of these days. But so that evolved into our television show. My husband and I produced, and then after his transition in 2007, I continued writing and wrote a book entitled The Female Solution, which he wrote the foreword to before he, transitioned to the next realm. And that book was designed to help women understand, as the organizers, the family planners, we have a responsibility to organize and unite among ourselves in the collective raising of our children. So that was the thrust of that book. And in writing books, I wrote a book with my husband, When Nations Gather, and talking about how the indigenous people had a vision of these times we're living in now that were going to be a major spiritual transformation. So I've been just about the business of putting out information. So this latest evolution, On Air, and On Air stands for Online Network of Associated Internet Radio and TV Hosts. And these are people who, like yourself, are using the powerful tool of the internet to dispel disinformation, to bring awareness, to give alternative information to the brainwashing that we've been subjected to for so many decades, since the beginning of TV and radio. So we have been tools of so much brainwashing, but there are those among us who have arisen to use this tool, that with a tool in your hand, you can communicate with the whole world. And so what we're doing with that network is recommending those YouTube channels, Facebook pages, podcasts by those people who have been inspired to enlighten. People such as yourself, bringing information, whether it's healthcare, whether it's a deeper understanding of the real political activities happening behind the scenes, whether it is the spirituality and uncovering the disinformation that has been spread through our religious institutions, and all of those things that will help us ascend to higher consciousness. So through our daily news site, we have On Air Daily News, which is a daily news site. And at 7, I'll be doing the On Air Daily News Hour show after this show, which highlights a lot of stories. And then we've got the radio network, the On Air Radio Network, which of course yourself and many others, and of course our Female Solution team is on there every day, twice a day now, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday, and then 12 noon at 7 at Sunday, Saturday and Sunday. And then, we've got we're building a host network for people who are inspired to bring enlightening shows, that they can have that network. And we're going to encourage people to be selective about where they put their attention. And in addition to the On Air Radio Network, anybody else who has a regular show where they're spreading information that empowers and enlightens, we're also promoting them as well, so that people can choose what they're putting in their minds, and they can choose not to be brainwashed and kept in a state of fear and helplessness, which is what the enslavement experience created in us, and we need to overcome.
Wow. So Naimah, I have to ask you, what are you doing to take care of Naimah and rest and breathe? All of that busy work.
I listen to the other shows.
I want to make sure you're taking time for you and breathing, and that, to me, the best time is when you open your eyes in bed. I think every one of us in this business of enlightenment should be waking up early enough to spend I'm spending an hour or more in bed doing my joint rolling, breathing, my meditation. And the sun, I have a window at the foot of my bed, the sun comes in every morning and hits my eyes, and then it hits my whole body. I just take all my clothes off, and the sun just moves. As the sun is moving in the sky, it hits my whole body all the way to my feet. I don't know how that happened, but it's the first time this year that I've been able to rest in that manner. And then just doing the deep. So I want to know, what time do you spend taking care of Naimah?
And that's probably the most effective part. I really must find a way to uh, have meditation time. Now, during in the month of Ramadan, which is the 30-day fasting of the Muslim world, it participates in, that recently passed. And that usually kind of gets me maybe back on track with a daily routine of getting up before dawn and eating a meal, fasting the rest of the day, and then breaking the fast at sunset, and prayers all during the day. So that kind of helped me in a sense get back into a rhythm, because this can be, as you know, very uh, just a ongoing stress filled
Intense. Yeah.
thing,
Yeah.
thing, trying to do
Yeah.
so many things. We got several projects going, but I'm really excited about the growth of the network that is opening a door of opportunity for so many people who have ideas, and they just need a platform and a team to promote what they're doing, because they've been inspired to reveal information. Many of them had spiritual experiences, and we recently changed the thrust of our weekly show that comes on Wednesday mornings, and we've entitled it Voices of Enlightenment, and we're bringing on people who have those kind of shows. We had Caroline Chang, who I believe you know, or maybe had
Yeah,
on.
I listened this morning. Yeah.
Yes. So, and of course, we're looking forward to having you on next week to talk about what you do. And so many that I've met, and there's a on-air radio TV guide page on the website of all the many people who have influenced me with their work. They interview channelers, they interview people who've had major spiritual revealing experiences. They've had and they interview people who've had near-death experiences. And so all of these things are empowering us to remove the shackles of fear that keeps us believing that there is some great authority that we can't cross and we must obey and do what we're told. And once we let go of that, then we look at all the things that we always had the power to do. And one of those things is to grow your own food. How simple
Absolutely.
is it? The ground is right there. Mother Earth gives you everything you need. Why
Okay,
do
so
we not take advantage of that?
let's start with where. Where can people grow their own food? Because what if you don't have? I know our sister Zelda has the tree, the growing trees in her apartment. So there's no excuse. So where? What would you suggest? Where? When we talk about where, what are the options of where to grow food?
You can grow, like you said, you can grow it inside in an apartment. You can actually grow if you've got windows where sunlight comes in. You can get pots. You can get one of those tree gardens like she has, where the little pots that they actually grow vertically. But you can grow fruits and vegetables in those containers. There's soil. You water it just like if you were to take it outside. Same process. Plants that grow, they need rich soil, they need water, they need sunlight. And these are the things that will allow them to grow in a healthy manner. We buy things at the grocery store that have been filled full of chemical preservatives. They're unhealthy. And a lot of the times they are genetically modified so that when we get fruits, they don't have any seeds in them. And that lets you know something wrong. And the reason why that's done is so that you can't grow it yourself. So then we become dependent on the corporate farm industry. And as a result, if the food prices go up, we're stressed because we don't have enough money to buy. And yet we're many of us living in nice homes with front and back lawns. Why are we growing grass? We don't eat grass, but it's the brainwashing. Well, sign of prosperity is a nice manicured lawn.
Right,
Yes, but
right.
how is it feeding you when you don't have food? And you could have easily been planting potatoes, planting cucumbers, planting squash, planting lettuce, planting all the things that you eat. So we've started a whole series called Grow What You Eat. And every day, 10-minute tip, we're giving people on how to grow what you eat. We're starting out with how to prepare the soil, because a lot of us, and you remember when um, we learned about George Washington Carver, how he revitalized the farming industry of the South because he was showing them how they had depleted the soil after years and years of cotton growing. And so the soil had no nutrients in it and couldn't grow. So he planted peanuts, and peanuts helped to, and some of the other plants that he specialized in, and he came up with so many different inventions that you could use peanuts for. So that helped to revitalize the soil in the South after years of growing cotton, which we were imported in to pick. But the same thing happens if you're growing something year after year, growing grass year after year after year, it depletes the soil. Now, Mother Earth is very intelligent. And when Mother Earth grows something, it's to nourish the soil that's been depleted. So a lot of the plants that we, in our ignorance, will spray and say they're weeds and we got to kill them, these are plants that are being produced by the earth in order to replenish the soil that's been depleted from growing grass year after year. And one of those plants is dandelions. I have learned there's so many uses for dandelions, so many health benefits for dandelions. Now, growing up, you see a yellow flower in the grass. Oh, kill it. It's a weed. It's not a stalk of grass. Duh. We don't know. But other people who have not been dumbed down and removed from the land, they are aware. And they'll sell these same plants to us, package it up nicely, everything, and we'll buy the tea and spend top dollar for it instead of just going out in the yard and pulling it out of our own backyard. So I'm seeking to educate, and as I educate, of course, I learn, because I'm looking up and researching and discovering. And so I'm going to be showing how to make dandelion tea, how to prepare the soil before you start your crop, how to find out which plants work best in what time of the year. When should we be planting potatoes? When should we be planting lettuce? When should we be planting broccoli? And things such as how to gauge where the sunlight is and if they have enough sunlight to grow in a healthy manner. And if you maybe even need to have a raised bed, because if the soil where you live, maybe it could be contaminated with, building materials or whatever. You live in a heavy industrial area. So all of these things we're teaching and learning as we teach, because people who were raised in an urban environment, they just don't know. And when you don't know, that makes you healthy. It's like being enslaved when someone has to take care of you. And we know those generations right after emancipation, they were very industrious. They knew that they knew agriculture because they were the ones growing the food. They knew how to do construction because they were the ones building the homes. So they had the skills. That's why we had the Rosewood and the Black Wall Street, all of these very successful communities, because people knew they had the skills. And a lot of times they were attacked because people surrounding them were jealous, because they were prospering, because they were using those principles of cooperative economics that makes a community thrive. So this is what we're promoting, and we're working with various groups that do urban farming so that we can really push this idea this spring. Take a fourth of your yard for food and grow what you eat.
And I'm glad my sister, our sister Zelda is commenting. She said we have to sprout in the window sill before we can plant. Proof it's possible to grow food in an apartment. Because so many people, if they have an apartment or a house these days, you're living in your car or a van.
A lot of
you have
people
to grow. You
Mhm.
can do it. Don't let your living in an apartment be an excuse why I can't grow food. Yes, you can.
Yes, you
Tune
can.
in to Zelda's show Monday Morning Mindfulness, and she'll show you how she grows food in her apartment. And
Yeah.
then, as Naima is sharing with us, if you have a backyard, there's no excuse. It's amazing when you mentioned the dandelion, how you can put the leaves in your salad, and you've shown other ways, I think, to prepare dandelion. But then you take the root and you make tea, and it cleans
Yes.
your liver.
It cleans your liver.
That one scent.
How
And it's
many
everywhere. Like you said, it's everywhere. It grows everywhere.
grows everywhere? And how many dialysis centers do we have in our community spouting up because people are having problems with their liver, their kidneys, and then their whole system that needs cleansing. The earth is growing what we need. This is an entire ecosystem. And so it's already designed to provide what we need biologically. We breathe out the air that the plants breathe in. They breathe out the air that we breathe in. We are all interconnected with the land where we live. So what we eat is what grows where we live. It's designed that way. And if you're importing things from somewhere else and they're sitting on a shelf and full of preservatives, they're not going to be as healthy because number one, they're not fresh because they're not native to your land and growing in your climate, and they're not going to be the best for your body. What is best for your body is what grows where you live. So you need to use the land where you live to grow what you eat. It's very simple. And if, of course, we know we're not being taught these things in schools, so we have to teach ourselves. We're responsible. Again, can't be a slave waiting for somebody to take care of you. Take responsibility for your life. This is what we're pushing. Take responsibility for your life. There's no reason why people cannot learn what it takes to survive when people coming out of 300 years of slavery were able to thrive because they knew they had the skills and the knowledge and they just chose to be independent. When we started letting people dumb us down and keep us from learning basic skills or thinking that it was more sophisticated to work in an office instead of working the land, that's when we became re-enslaved. And now, instead of us going out in our backyard and digging a potato and being able to make our own fries or make our own boiled potatoes, we're going to the store and we gotta buy a bag of potatoes. Well, I'm going to show how, if you get that bag of potatoes, how you can even let that bag make more
Sprout.
potatoes. Let it
Yeah, when it
sprout
sprouts.
and make some more. So we're going to be showing all of those things so that people who grew up in the city knowing nothing, buying their food packaged in plastic from the grocery store, they will learn how to survive. And it's critical that we have survival skills because the world is changing. And we have to be ready for the transformation so that we don't go into a panic when the financial institutions begin to collapse. Those who are ready are not going to be living in fear because they will know how to take care of themselves.
Now, here's another about plants growing in your yard and you don't know what they are. There are several apps. In fact, I have
Yeah.
one of them. Identify the plant in your yard. You just take a picture of it. You download the app, and I can't think of the name of it right
Well, the
now.
app
But
that I use is called Picture This, and it
picture
has
this.
a little
This
clover
one.
symbol. And I have used that to identify so many plants, and we'll be going through that with our tips, even
Okay.
how you, once you've taken a picture of it and it shows you what it is and it gives you all the scientific name for it and everything and where it grows, then you can look up and see medicinal uses, health benefits, something as simple as clover, and clover grows all over the yard. So
You know
many.
what else I found grows everywhere is valerian.
Ooh,
Valerian. There. When I was living in the country in my tiny house on wheels, I used to drive down this road, and there were these beautiful yellow flowers all along the road, and I was like, "Gee," well, they were yellowish white, and I was like, "I wonder what those are." I looked it up, and it's valerian, and I thought, "Isn't that just like our loving Creator to give us something to calm us down?" I mean,
yeah.
it was everywhere. And so those are the things we want you to be looking for, brothers and sisters, along your path, whether you're homeless or in your apartment, or you when you're driving along a road and you see beautiful plants. If you have that app, you can educate.
Yes. You can find out what they're used for, how to prepare them, because sometimes you can even look that up. How's the best prepared? What about boiling? What about stewing? What about steaming? All these different things. We can heal whatever is wrong with our bodies that have been uh, thrown out of whack because of an imbalance, way too much sugar, or all the poor dietary choices that we have been making because we have been succumbing to advertising that basically brainwashes us to buy and buy and buy. So we're buying things that are unhealthy, and then we got to go to the doctors and get the pharmaceutical products. So it's a whole cycle, and we get stuck there, and it's hard sometimes to get people out of that. Diabetes and liver problems and kidney problems, all of these things that come from the poor dietary choices that we're making. And people know when they're overweight and feeling bad and all these things. And so when you try to gently suggest that they change some habits, sometimes there's just extreme resistance. So what I have learned is that these are choices people are making of their own free will. And if you choose to suffer, that's the choice that you've made, and you're going to realize the consequences. And sometimes it's too late by the time you realize you should have done something different. But sometimes people don't realize that there are alternatives. I mean, I've had people laugh at my food choices. My gardener, he when he
Of
was saying,
course.
when he was about to do my lawn, he said, "Oh, do you want me to get rid of these dandelions and spray them with pesticide?" I'm like, "No, those are good for eating." He goes, "Oh, that's right, I forgot. You eat weeds." Okay, that's fine. You can laugh at, but you know, I am definitely feeling healthy and vibrant and no age lines, and just the all of the things that eating healthy, fresh grown vegetables out of the ground, what it does to your body. Our bodies are made to continuously replenish dead cells. We are recycling cells all the time. So we're not made to decay. But if you eat dead things, then you're going to have deadness inside of you. But if you eat live
Well,
foods, then you continue to replenish cells and continue to live.
and Naima, I've been preaching that message to my family for what my son's 40, just turned 45, the other one's 40, and they're at a place where they don't care. They want comfort because my son's job is very stressful. And the other son, I don't see him very often, but he has friends and influence with friends. But until they suffer, they're
Yeah,
not going to listen. That's what I've come to the conclusion. Until they suffer, they're not
yeah,
going to take heed to what mom's been telling them for 40 years or teaching and preaching. So it's like you said, we need to accept the fact that a lot of people are going to suffer because they're not ready to change and nourish their body instead of comforting their body.
yeah. They've made that
That's what I think.
decision. And a lot of people, food is their comfort. And unfortunately, they've gotten
It's a
addicted to
drug.
bad
It's a
food,
drug.
to the
Yeah,
drugs.
it's.
And
I've come to
yeah,
see food as a drug for most people.
a lot of
Ice
people.
cream every night,
Mhm.
grandson. And we were there. We were on drugs, candy for galore, and
Yes.
soda pop and all that, drugs galore. But now we just gotta call it what it is.
Yeah, an
It's
addiction.
time. It's time to call everybody to the front lines. All hands on deck, as they say.
Yeah,
These are serious times. It's all hands on deck. Those who don't want to do the work, we're gonna see them suffer, and maybe they'll survive. I've had several people who've had strokes this month or last
mm,
my life. And I see where they could have avoided it if they just learned how to relax and breathe, do the breath work. So I want to remind everyone every time I'm on. Number one, I believe the monks, the Prince of Peace, the from Houston, Tech, or not Houston, Fort Worth, Texas,
Mm-hmm.
to Washington D.C. to
Yeah.
remind us to pay attention to our breath and stop
Yeah.
reacting to the BS out there. So I want to remind all of us, male, female, take time in the morning, write down today is going to be my peaceful day. Say it, speak it. I got everybody in my family doing that, but they
Oh,
still
that's
eat.
good. That's
They still
good.
eat horrible, but they writing down today is going to be my peaceful day. So I think that's half the battle because people who have stroke peaceful days. They
Yeah,
have let that stress
stress is internal.
accumulate,
Yeah,
accumulate, and accumulate. They didn't have a peaceful day. But I see my son laughing a lot. So I'm like, he'll be
that's good.
okay. He'll be
That's good.
okay. And I
And
see my grandchildren laughing more. So as
that's
long as
good.
you got a lot of laughter, Naima,
Yes,
with
laughter
all
is
the work
healing.
you're doing,
Yes.
with all the work you're doing, got to have a lot of laughter.
Gotta,
Everything's funny these days.
yes. Well, that's the whole thing. Sometimes people are believing that spirituality means being serious and, stern. No, laughter is what is the greatest spirituality there is. Laughter
Oh,
heals the body, it de-stresses the mind. And when you can laugh, then you can relax, your muscles relax, and you're not pent up, not stressed. Strokes are caused by thoughts. And stress, worry is experiencing something that has not yet happened. So
yep.
when you
Future.
when you project into the future something awful that you're afraid is going to happen, and then you experience it as if it's happening,
Yeah.
you're creating that condition in your body. And that's what will lead to strokes. People kill themselves worrying about things, most of which never happen, or they imagine things that are not happening. Oh, this person doesn't like me. Oh, they're trying to do something harmful to me. These people are talking about me. You're worrying about things that don't even exist. And even if they do, it doesn't matter. If somebody doesn't like you, so what? How is that affecting your day-to-day survival? I mean, if there's somebody on your job and they don't like you and they talk about you, oh, she got a run in her stocking, whatever. How is that changing your life?
who,
Ignore people who
who
say
wears
ignorant
stockings?
things. Yes. Yeah, really. But
Oh,
the
wait,
whole
Hollywood stars wear stockings.
right. So if you're worried about people talking about what you wearing or what kind of car you're driving, oh, she still got that dent in her car. Okay, if that's stressing you out because somebody's talking about that, why are you putting your mind on things that don't matter? Most of the time, we stress out about things that don't matter, and we listen to people who don't matter. If they are not directly affecting your livelihood, ignore them. Be
I I
in
just
joy, laugh.
I just finished a lifesaver. It's called Living Untethered by Michael Singer. I read his first book, Untethered, when I was in the Virgin Islands with my husband who had an accident, and for 5 days he had to lay in bed for in the Virgin Islands. So I read
Oh,
his book while we were there, and I had peace beyond my understanding because I
that
enjoyed
was
the whole vacation. But this book is for anybody who is having trouble living in peace and letting go.
good.
Living Untethered by Michael Singer. And I just
Yes.
so anyway, Naima breathwork. I said higher learning. She reminded us. Okay, here you go. Uh, higher learning said Zelda says thank you for reminding us to spend more time breathing deeply. Can't wait to hear more. And she said that early. So yeah, reminding as busy as you are, make sure first thing in the morning you got to get up. You don't have to get up. Wake up a little earlier.
Yeah.
Write down today's going to be my peaceful day before you get out of bed, and then start doing your joint rolling and your breath work and all that. So we
Yeah.
got to take care of ourselves because people
They
need
definitely
our
do.
help.
They really do. And we have to sometimes demonstrate how to go through life peacefully.
Yeah.
Because you
No
got
talk.
people cussing folks out every day for little things. Somebody accidentally bumped into you and with their shopping cart in the store, and they, you want to cuss them out and start fighting. How silly is that? But it's when you're at that high stress level, then any little thing will trigger you. And a lot of times we're walking around with angry thoughts at people. So we're like a glass full of water to the brim. Any little jiggle will spill it over the edge because we're already at capacity. We can't take any more. We're so stressed. And most of it is because of what we're thinking about. We're thinking about people we're angry about. We're thinking about what somebody said to us. We're thinking about being disrespected. All of these things. And if you worry about somebody disrespecting you, why do you care what why do you care if somebody acts as if they don't have any sense? How does that really affect who you are? It doesn't. Nobody can change who you are. They can choose to be kind or they can choose to be unkind, but they don't change who you are. So why are you responding to someone whose behavior is unkind? Ignore them. They don't matter. And most of the time, we're believing that someone has harmed us if they say something that's unkind, and we feel like we have to, "Yeah, I'm not going to let her get away with that." Why are you putting energy into someone else's misbehavior? Why would you
You
allow
know,
someone to control you like that?
I realize with having young people in my life, my granddaughter's 11 and my grandson's 9. When I see older people acting that way you just described, it just comes to my mind they're immature. They're
Yes.
being childish, acting
Yes.
just like my granddaughter hates to be mocked. She's so
Mm.
dramatic about things. Sometimes I go, "Oh my goodness." Oh, and I'll mock her and she says, "Daddy, grandma's
Yes.
mocking me." And I'm like, "Well, it's funny to me." And so
I'm
I'm getting
showing
to
you a
the point of
mirror of how you look.
I'm getting to the point of just telling her, just ignore me, honey. You gotta toughen up because you when you go through life, you're only 11. People are gonna mock you, bully you, whatever. And Daddy, he mocked me. I told her just ignore me. If it doesn't really matter to you, or if it's not you who is it's not I'm hurting, then ignore it. So I'm training her because I'm gonna mock her. I'm sorry. It's like I can't help it. She's just too dramatic for me. It's like,
Is
oh
that how
my
you get her to see how silly that drama looks? Yeah,
yeah,
what's she,
yeah.
11?
And
Yeah,
then
that's
we
that
help
age.
her along. Her dad and I were both kind of mocking her, and I said, just ignore us, honey. No, you're mocking me again. No, you just ignore people like that, honey. You don't get upset and yell and scream. We're training her anyway. That's so you're right. But adults are immature, just like my granddaughter.
Very immature.
Oh, why are you hurt my feelings?
Yes, very
Trigger
immature.
alert. Trigger alert. We should start every show with trigger alert, trigger alert.
But
I
that's,
hurt your feelings.
think about the last argument you witnessed. Most of the time, people argue over things that are so ridiculous. And you think,
Oh my
why
goodness,
are you
yes.
spending time raising your blood pressure over something that doesn't matter? But like you say, it's the immaturity when you don't develop mentally and emotionally past a certain age. And what I've learned from, and I did a lot of, again, this book, Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma, and studying our behavior and studying just emotional, psychological conditions. What I learned was that if you have had a trauma at a certain age, an emotional trauma that you have not gotten over, you stay at that age emotionally. You never go beyond that. So let's say you had a major uh impact, maybe jumped on by bullies at age 9, just traumatized you, and you're beaten and all that sort of thing, hospitalized. And so you developed a fear or an anger or a rage at being made to feel helpless. That thing that happened at age 9, you're stuck there. And so
Yeah.
any little trigger or anybody making you feel like you're disrespected or making you feel like you're in danger of being hurt or humiliated, it can trigger you, and you can go into a rage, a fit, or just withdraw and not be able to communicate effectively, not be able to have a conversation, or not be able to calm yourself down because you're still 9 years old, the age when that happened, and you never were able to heal from the emotional trauma. So many of us are walking around still 5 years old, still 7 years old, still 9 years old, still 11 years old, when whatever this major traumatic event happened in your life that scarred you, you never recovered. And so you stayed at that age. And that's what we're seeing with a lot of adults.
So I want to ask you about the therapy you get from gardening. I just thought about that as we're talking about all the stress that people hold on to and the tension people hold on. Getting back to gardening, there's another level of benefit. And how have you experienced the therapy when you're gardening?
Being in nature changes everything because there's a vibration that plants give off. There is there is a there's a consciousness in all life, and our when we're able to commune with nature, it has a certain impact in keeping us calm, lowering our blood pressure. Digging in dirt is very therapeutic. And I know even Zelda talks about this. Sometimes people soak their feet in water. You could plant your feet in dirt and all soil, I should say, not dirt,
Yeah,
soil.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
the earth, and that can drain pain from your body. There people have gotten
Mhm.
rid of arthritic pain from sticking their feet in soil. My mother used to walk outside barefoot on the ground. She knew that was therapeutic. Now, well, they actually have a name for it now called earthing. But country people, they just walk bare feet because they knew that was healthy for you.
Didn't have no shoes, some of them.
And they didn't have shoes. So a lot of things that we did as a practice coming up north where we think we're sophisticated, we were so disdainful of country living, of planting and digging in the dirt with your hands. This is healthy. It is healthy for your body, healthy for your mind. Planting things, it's a calming, soothing effect. You're communing with your plants, communing with the food that's going to keep you healthy. It's a relationship. And my tree outside, they'll always talk about hugging your trees. Well, hug a tree. The tree, they're the earth's antennas, the trees, and they have an intelligence. Everything has divine intelligence. So when you're among nature, it is a physically healing, spiritually healing experience. And this is why so many illnesses we see erupt in urban areas, because there's an absence of nature. And
Absolutely.
you see it in the stress level, like you talked about. When you
Mhm.
when you're not around trees, first of all, you're not getting fresh air, the oxygen that the plants produce, and you're not getting the vibrations, the calming effect that the plants give off. So, and like we said earlier, even if you live in an apartment, have some plants in your apartment. Grow some things that are giving you fresh air in your apartment. Have some nature around you, because that is what keeps you balanced.
Yeah. In fact, do some research on the best plants to have in your home to detox from all the
Yes.
electronic gadgets. So, yeah, we think I appreciate all the benefits of gardening that we hadn't even talked. Other than nourishing, it's very calming and healing for you. It's very healing for you on an outside perspective, right? So that's great. I know you have to leave, and my brother LA is supposed to be calling in. So, any last word? Tell them the times for your shows weekly, and again, a little highlight about the On Air Everywhere. I got the website up here,
Yeah,
onaireverywhere.com.
onaireverywhere.com. Onaireverywhere.com. And just go to the radio network page, On Air Radio Network. Of course, We are live every day, 10-minute tip at 10. So tune in for your daily 10-minute tip at 10 on how to grow what you eat. So we've called that series Grow What You Eat, and that's what we're advocating everybody to do, no matter where you live, whether you're in an apartment or in a house, in a townhouse, in a mansion, wherever you live, a duplex, wherever you live. Find some soil. Go to your local garden place, wherever it is, and get some soil and save your organic matter, your orange peels, apple peels, your banana peels, and mix it up with dried leaves and dried grass and soil, and the earth will decompose those organic materials and make some nice, rich, healthy soil so that you can continuously replenish the earth and replenish the nutrients and grow healthy food that you can eat. So do this today so that you can be empowered to grow what you eat.
I keep adding extra letters on this on air everywhere. Okay, I think I got it now.
On
So go to
air
onaireverywhere.com. On
Yes.
air everywhere. There we go.
There
And
we go.
the
Everywhere.com.
on every day of the week now.
Email
Are you 7
solutions
days?
on every day, twice a day, 7 a.m. and again at 7 p.m. That's Central Time, so it'll be 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But wherever you are, adjust your time so you can see us live. Or if you don't, we're always on our Female Solution YouTube page and Facebook page. And our hosts, you can go to thefemalesolution.com, and all of our hosts and their YouTube pages are listed right there. So you can always see their shows in the archive. Got a fantastic group. And thank you so much, Beata, for always being an enlightened being that brings us so much valuable information as we ascend to the fifth dimension with Mother Earth.
That's right. I can't help myself anymore. It's what I am, what I'm being. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a great evening. I'll try and join you later. Depends on LA is with us. If you want to, LA is. I'm going to open up. He's going to continue. So if you need to drop off, go ahead. I understand. But thank you so much. Join Naimah on aireverywhere.com.
Right. Be on air in just a few minutes. Hey, LA, see you later. Thanks so much. And as always, I enjoyed the time and look forward to seeing you next time.
Okay, every morning, breath work and joint rolling for you.
Absolutely.
You're a busy woman.
Yes.
All right, take care.
See you soon.
So LA is going to share. LA, welcome. Are you there? You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clear. I heard the whole interview you did with it.
Okay, great. LA is an entrepreneur and an expert on gardening now, right?
I wouldn't say expert, but I'll present a different point of view.
Okay, so LA's been doing a lot of research because he and I have been working in sustainable housing, tiny house living for several years. We've been promoting and educating ourselves on how to live minimalist and tiny. So he's going to Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi's been acting up all day long, so apologizing for if it goes out. Just be patient. He's going to share with us what he's learning about gardening. So go ahead, LA.
Okay, thank you for letting me. I will make this quick. I co-sign on everything you guys. Naimah was on. But let me ask you this question, because this will affect everybody who's listening to this live stream as well as the playback on demand. Beata, on average, what would you say you spend weekly on food, groceries?
I spend about anywhere from $60 to $100 a week on food.
Okay, for that $60, and you can buy enough seeds to feed yourself for the rest of your life, your children's life, and your grandchildren's life, and your great grandchildren's lives who are not even born yet, and their great grandchildren's life. simply for, if you take the money that you spend on food, for just one who's listening to this live stream right now, even if you just got $5 in your pocket to buy a pack of, those seeds have multiplying power. Do you want to pay off some debt? Plant a seed. You can pay off whatever amount of debt you owe. Back taxes, plant some seeds, plant enough of them, you'll have enough to sustain yourself food-wise, plus pay off the debt. Want to buy a Bentley, a Rolls Royce, whatever, plant something, grow it, and it will pay for whatever you want to pay off of. Now, you're going to have to educate yourself because I'm really simplifying this, whatever. But I would say would probably be the original generational wealth blueprint that absolutely anybody or practically any can do within a minute.
So where do you?
That's the main message I wanted to put out here tonight.
Where do you recommend?
Go online, God. There's a gazillion YouTube people. You can go on Amazon. They got people on Etsy. You go to the local hardware store. You can go to Sam's. You can go to Walmart. There's no spiritual place where you can. Yeah, Lowe's. Go.
Home Depot.
You know what? Start in your own refrigerator.
Yes. If you
start there.
Especially if you eat peppers like I do, the sweet peppers, the grocery store, Publix always has lots of red, orange, yellow peppers. They have lots of seeds in them that you can plant in your own yard or even in on your patio or something. So yeah, like he said, start in your own refrigerator. Tomato seeds.
Start in your own refrigerator.
You can
now some of these things that you have in your refrigerator from seed time to harvest could be 20 to 30 days. Microgreens and things of that nature. So consume what you need or want, and then sell the rest.
Yeah,
and there's no way you can eat all that stuff produced by a seed.
And as Zelda was saying earlier, you have to sprout those seeds. It's best to sprout those seeds. I think she said in her in her window. In the window, you got to sprout them first. So now is the time. Oh, here she said we have to sprout in window seal before we can plant. So proof it's possible to grow food in an apartment. So she knows the ins and outs and the details about planting in an apartment. And if you tune in to her Morning Mindfulness Higher Learning TV show, you'll find out. You can ask her questions about her growing in an apartment. She's the expert. So yeah, but even if you're not in an apartment, just take the food that you normally eat, especially tomatoes. If they're good tomatoes and have seeds in them, save those seeds and let them sprout in on the window seal. And then you get pots. There's small. You can start out with small pots, seedlings, and then grow out of that into your yard or your patio or whatever you need. But we're just encouraging you. You said something about like a 2-day. What was your garden, LA? You were talking about?
Yeah, Holloway, part of our vegetable soup group, and it's 10 of us, not 9, 10 of us.
10 of us.
Including me and you.
Right.
The one pot we're working on an ebook called and physical boots on the ground clubs around the country and globe. The One Pot Farm. The One Pot Farm is basically this. If you live in an apartment, all you got is a shoe. Throw some dirt in the shoe. You got a cup. Throw some dirt. It's the one part. And if you do that 20 to 24 times a month, you're set. Okay. So it's the One Pot Farm, because when you look at a seed, it's just not, an individual little seed. There's a pre-programmed orchard inside of that seed. And it provides generational, as long as you teach people to maintain what you started with that one seed. So, that's the message I wanted to put out here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We hope that all of you who are listening to this now or later self-sustaining, because things are going to get rough in this country. It's the economy. Some people keep saying there's going to be a stock market crash, and we don't know what's going to happen. So we're just helping you think about some of the things you can do on your own at very little money to feed yourself. That's one of the needs we all have, is food, shelter, clothing. If you have all those every day, then you're set. We don't need a lot of material things. People watch too much TV and get distracted by rocket ships going to the moon again, whatever. I keep thinking, why would you send anything to the moon when you got all these homeless people down here? Why are we spending all this money on advanced technology like that? You know why? Because the minds of our government authorities and are unconscious and reptilian and maybe even non-human. So it's up to us who are conscious, who are coming here every day talking to you about how to improve your life, how to improve your health. Listen to those people on YouTube helping you improve your life without having to spend a lot of money. Right, LA? It doesn't cost much to get seeds. And as you asked me earlier,
like I say, you can start right in your refrigerator.
Yeah. Whatever you're eating, save the seeds and start planting in your windowsill. And even if you're in your car, you can do things. Go to YouTube and find out how people who are living in their car, their van, in tents, how they're doing. How are they feeding themselves? Where there's a will, there's a way. So thank you, LA, for joining us. Any final words on vegetable soup to nourish the mind, body, and finances?
Well, now to do the seed thing, you can start solo, but what we're recommending is get together with 5 or 6 other friends, maybe 10 other friends, and then own farmers market, right, where everybody on an individual as well as collective level can prosper. Like, so you can eat what you need, you can buy stuff wholesale, and if you got something like tuition to pay off, back tax to pay off, want to buy a dress or whatever, you can do that collectively. But it all starts, let's look in your refrigerator, and like I say, this for us, whatever a pack of seeds costs, you can start there, $5, $6. But like I say, if you look in the refrigerator, you can start right there.
Absolutely. It's not difficult. So it's a full moon tonight, and there was a full moon last night. So I do want to end with a little full moon meditation that can help us take in the light of the moon, take in the energy of the moon, And so we want you to just take some time. I'm going to put on from my iTunes a little chantress music. I think that'll work. And I'm just going to play for a minute this beautiful meditation, Chantress Seba. If you don't know, if you haven't heard her, Chantress Seba, she and her husband play this beautiful meditation music. And this one is called Water Sound Healing. I'm going to just play it, and I want you to close your eyes and just breathe out and breathe in consciously. And think about the moon. My things are just water sound healing. Okay, here we go. So this evening, take some time to be still. The scriptures say, "Be still and know that I am Yahuwah," or "I am the creator," or "I am the moon." The moon is in us because it's a light of energy. And that's what we do. We give forth energy of light when we are meditating and we're breathing and we're being still. So be still and know the creator within you, because the Messiah, this is Holy Week for many people, Christians, but it's Holy Week every day for me. Every week is a Holy Week for me because I'm so in touch with nature and the Most High and the Creator every day. Take time, especially this week, because the energy and the thoughts are a Messiah and Yeshua. And we want to take in all the love and love energy of this week of holiness. And the water within you is going to be a lot more energized and moving with the moon full. So please take the creator within you and let the moon bring healing, peace, bring joy, and bring comfort to you. Okay, so thank you all for joining me. Let's see if we have any more comments. I don't see any more comments. Let us all be mindful every morning. Today is going to be my peaceful day. Thank the universe for making a peaceful day for all. Thank our ancestors, our angels, messengers. Give thanks every day. Gratitude, the vibration to bring healing, to bring joy, and to bring love, more love into your life. Namaste, Sat Nam, Ashe, Ashe O, and Shalom. Everybody have a great evening and enjoy the moon. And let me play my new music for you. Let's see if I can get my new music on.